There's a lot of other guys in that, just because they're not crowded around their locker asking them about it doesn't mean that they don't have those same thoughts. I think they're all handling it well. I think nobody's handling the team, where we are as a team right now well, understandably. That's a whole different thing. There's two sides to that. But no, guys, I think when you've been in the big leagues as long as these guys that you're talking about have been, they kind of understand it's part of it. And in fact, some of them feed off of it.
Hey, but being on the competition committee, just a general question, not to speak for the whole committee, but do you see any way that shifts could be regulated without it completely?
Trying to get me in trouble.
No, not at all. Just wanted to get your opinion.
I've just been talking about it. Anything I've been so impressed being on. There's so many things that you go, geez, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And when you're on this committee, you understand these things have been talked about and approached to try to improve the game or help the game 2-3 years before you brought it up. And then you understand the reasons why things happen and what rate and the what I call them the arteries of decisions. You decide to do something, you better think about how it affects other things too. So you got to keep that in mind. Baseball's such a statistically driven, rich tradition. I heard one the other day about why don't they shorten doubleheaders to 7 innings like they do in the minor leagues. That'd be tougher on the statistics. But no, they're always looking for ways. I love what they're doing with the bags. I've always thought that bags were treacherous. They're hard early in the season. They're slick from the cold weather, even when they're wet even early in the game when they're wet in the field down before it starts. These bags, we lose 1 or 2 players a year just because the bags are so hard and no give to them. It actually helped replay. I'm not talking about a sack. I'm talking about just something that has a little give to it. Things like that. There's great debate back and forth, but believe me, they're covering all the angles about, okay, if this happens, because people are always trying to circumvent rules, and you got to really have some checks and balances on it. But as far as shifts, it's not as drastic as, I remember things were being done a long time ago. Really the biggest change, I think, is the right-hand hitters are being shifted on. Everybody thinks it's left-handed. One of the problems is that because you got a first baseman that has to be there, left-hand hitters are a little bit tougher on them. But I think that's one of the biggest changes is what the number of right-hand hitters are shifting on. I think that's a pretty good indicator of what's going on with some of the players offensively.